Welcome to Ambergris, Belize. It's May 2015. It's time for our monthly update from Mahogany Bay Village. Let's take a look. Well, here on Street 4, the first townhouses continue to show progress. In fact, hopefully next month we'll be able to show you the finished interiors and furnishings in these units. But they're beautiful. Big spaces, high ceilings, big volume, recaptured porches. Pretty awesome. So what's in this new building? Well, 3 businesses will be housed here. We have the dive shop, Bubbles, which will be able to access the marina directly. You can book your charter, show up for it, and walk right out to the marina. In the middle is Bookings. Bookings is a critically important business, and the idea is for it to help you provide a perfect experience for the guest. If I'm coming to San Pedro for a week, I want to plan my excursions. When am I going out on the reef? When am I going to the jungle and the mainland? You can do all that at Bookings. And then Wheels, which is the golf cart and bicycle rental business. And work continues on the Great House. More to see every time we come down here. It's the single largest structure in the entire project at 16,000 square feet. Next month we'll give you a sneak peek at the interiors and the design. It's going to be extraordinary. Can't wait to see it come up before your very eyes on these update videos. Well, I'm here at the world-famous Rum and Bean, and I mean world-famous because we just got the news. We are now the #1 coffee shop in San Pedro on TripAdvisor. Out of 7 coffee and tea establishments in the town of San Pedro, Rum and Bean is #1, and maybe more impressively, the #13 restaurant out of 137 in San Pedro. Things are looking up. What else is going on this month? Well, finally you're able to book a seat on Southwest Airlines. They've opened up the Belize itinerary starting October 15th, and lots of folks have already taken advantage of that in the first 48 hours. 60% of the first flight was booked. That continues. If you go to southwest.com, you can find out whether or not you can get to Belize from your city, but you also see what's happening with pricing. If you study the airlines, when Southwest goes into a market, it usually has a beneficial effect for you, the consumer, brings prices down, and of course, bags fly free. Super excited to have Southwest come into Belize. Well, I'm here with Beth Clifford. How are you, Beth?
I'm doing great. How are you, Robert?
Wonderful. It's good to see this place sprouting out of the ground.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Got a few things to talk to you about. The first is that we went from a job site where we're building the same building again and again and again, which is great for efficiencies, quality. Now we've shifted to some one-off buildings, and the challenge and excitement of that. Talk about what that is doing to the guys.
Well, we keep everything going just like it was. And so we continue to add about 3 or 4 doors every week and run down the road. So we have nothing changes with that program. But now what we're doing is adding on a whole new dimension. So whereas before every one of our doors was 1,000 square feet or less, today we're starting to work on buildings that are 4,000 to 16,000 square feet. So what's interesting, it's everyone's up for the challenge for it. It's a lot of it is us taking the exact same building methodology, but we're just expanding it and using it in a different way. The only place where that's substantially different is the Great House, because it's got something that I told you I would never put in Mahogany Bay Village.
Concrete.
I know. Did you see it? They snuck concrete into the building, but we had to put concrete into the building. Obviously, we're building one of the largest assembly space in the country of Belize, and so for hurricane protection, just for the structure of it, what we needed to do was to build it. It's all structurally engineered with concrete beams. It's a 48-foot high building. It's the only building that's being built in the country of Belize that's to U.S. assembly codes, to fire safety codes. It's sprinklered. It's got safety corridors. It's got fire doors. It's got all those things that need to be done, because in the end, that space could have anywhere from 400 to 600 people in it if you have a really large event, and it's we got to make sure that we're responsible.
Absolutely. And of course, elevator, which
yes,
only
elevator.
Building here with an elevator, so that's exciting.
Elevator, we got a 3-story building, and you might say, well, that's crazy, Beth. You only have a 2-story building, because the public access is the lobby and restaurant, which is just going to be gorgeous on the first level. Second level is all the banquet facility, but because of the size of the roof up above it, the elevator actually goes up into the 3rd level, and that's where we store all the things. And I can only tell you that one of the biggest challenges in hospitality is, where do you store everything?
Where do you put your stuff?
You have to have so much, because you have a banquet facility that for one day is being laid down for 300 theater-style seats. The next day I'm doing a wedding and I need round tables of 10 for 150 people. Then the next day, so you need all of that. You need the centerpieces, the Christmas trees, you need all of that. And then you need all of the banquet space. You need all of the napkins and napkin rings and
in various colors
and various colors and flower arrangement things. It goes on and on and on. So what the good news is that the elevator goes up to the 3rd level, which is our storage attic. So that's where that gives us a great place to go store in what they call in the industry the rattleware. So all the rattleware goes up into the 3rd level.
All right, good stuff. Well, the other thing, and really the big exciting news, which is a pretty substantial change, is up until now we've said there's been 0 debt on the project, and that's true. Pretty rare to have a project of this magnitude without any kind of debt, but that changed last Friday when we closed on our loan from the Social Security Board of Belize. Talk about that.
Our intent has been coming down here for 10 years, and has always been to bring our investors and bring our own investment down. And in the middle of that, we've always wanted to partner with the country of Belize and be a good steward, be a good citizen, and to look for places where there's a win-win between the citizens of Belize, the country of Belize, the government of Belize, wherever it is. We're always looking for places where there's a win-win. When they started to understand that we were the biggest project in Belize, and they got excited about it from the government level and from the Belize Tourism Board, they solicited to us about how can we help you. And we said, well, there's a number of ways, obviously. We want you to endorse our project, et cetera. But they said, you know, we also have, and we're always looking for good places to put our money to work. And we were like, well, we kind of don't need any money, but okay. And so they came back to us with a proposal that really made a lot of sense to us, because they were looking to say, they said, we've got a lot of funds, we love your project, and this is the first project that we're going to be endorsing that's a hospitality project, and we think it's a win-win all around. We want to support you. And so we looked at it hard. What it allowed us to do, Robert, was to build a little bit faster. Yeah. And that's important. It was also ability for us to build a great relationship with the country of Belize. And we feel actually honored, and that it really is more of an endorsement to us, and feeling very privileged that they would allow us to have access to their capital and be one of our investors. And
well, and really one of the neat things about it is, if you think about what it takes to get a loan of that magnitude, right? Mm-hmm. There's an investment committee made up of several independent business people, heads of industry in the country. They have to look at it and decide the project makes sense. Then it goes to the Social Security Board. And of course, the president of the board came out, spent time with us, spent a day with us, really wanted to understand the project, workings of the project, methodology, ideology behind it. And then of course, they saw the facility in Belmopan, because that's where most of our labor is. And the fact that we're almost exclusively Belizean labor speaks well to the fact that these are the funds from the citizens that we need to be stewards of.
Correct. And so they realize that we not only have brought investment down here, but we are also the 8th largest employer in the country of Belize. And that we only have about 4 gringos on the entire staff.
Right.
And everybody else is Belizean. And we have a very robust education program to not only bring in people from Belize, but to also train them and elevate them and continue to bring them into management roles. And that our goal is to have this 100% Belizean managed.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a good story. So I think that for everybody, it was a great story, because at the end of the day, we've got 160 or more Belizeans who are contributing to Social Security, and now they're able to say that money goes right back around into a great quality project that's going to employ more people. So it's just the velocity of money and putting it in the right places, which just creates more jobs, creates more tourism, which is just the economic engine to the country of Belize, and that's exactly what they're looking for.
Now, a couple of things you may be interested in. First of all, the collateral for the loan is not the entire project. The collateral is just the buildings that the funds are going to, and some developer-owned lots. So the project isn't in any jeopardy because of that. As you can imagine, the Social Security Board wanted to see multiple places that they could be paid back, and they were very happy with that. What it really does is allows us to collapse some time frames. As you know, when this project started, we didn't have a vision of a 16,000 square foot great house. It's going to be a very important thing in the project, and clearly it's going to be a big driver here to bring in group traffic and those kinds of things. But it also meant that we needed money sooner to get it done, as opposed to waiting for all the lots to sell with the amenity budget necessary to build it. So this allows for that, and there's a great cash flow in terms of being able to pay the loan back, and the interest rate is really good. So we're very happy, one, with the loan itself, and two, with what it says.
It is. And the team at Social Security Board is just brilliant, and they have been a joy to work with. They've helped us through every one of the steps. They're actually some of our biggest advocates. Is that when people come into the country of Belize, obviously many of the people who are on the board or on the investment committee or involved are at a very high level of the government of Belize. And so they are always seeing new people come in, and what they're always doing is calling Robert, and they're calling me and saying, hey, this person's coming in, would you mind bringing them over? Could they come see your project? We love your project. We'd love to have them come see what you're doing, because they want them to partner with, or they want to see what's possible in the country of Belize. And so we're here to, we always said, all boats rise in the tide. We want to be the absolute best partner with the country of Belize, and they've just been great.
All right, one more thing I want to talk about, and that is next week the design team's back on the ground, and that's always fun. And really, we've got a couple of new elements that they're here to work on. Talk about that.
Well, and we have a new team member. And so our design team has always been Studio Sky. They've done absolutely brilliant work. And we made a decision on the Great House to bring in one more designer to complement the team. It wasn't because there was a deficiency, it was somebody who has a great eye for just doing hospitality lobbies and for restaurant space.
Yeah.
And has a real brand name in the Caribbean for creating some of the coolest lobbies, bars, pool clubs, beach clubs, and is a person who is frequented and is on the cover of Architectural Digest and House Beautiful and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
And so Amanda Lindroff is coming down with the design team. She's been integrated into the team, and she just has a style that absolutely complements our existing team. And they were actually, our existing team suggested, let's bring in one more person for it.
Yeah.
So we're excited to have Amanda join the team. We've been working for 2 months about all the interiors, laying out exactly what the look and feel of the Great House will be. But they come down on site for 3 days in early June. And that's all about doing all the final touches. Now that the building's in place, the floor is going to be on the ground by the time they get down here. So the floor plate will be there. And just looking at the atmosphere, Amanda has not been to Belize, so this is her opportunity to tweak that design from what she has in her head to absolutely calibrate it with the site plan, with the breezes, with the colors, and then really be inspired by that environment and take what she's already designed from the Bahamas and make sure that that clearly integrates with what's here on the ground of Belize. And so they're going to be working on the Great House. They're working on the Bay Club, which is the pool. Oh my gosh, the pool.
It's changed.
Yeah, the pool has changed. And she's like, pool is going to be sexy, and it's going to be sexy, it's going to be long, it's going to be intimate, it's going to be the kind of place where you're going to want to wake up at 7 in the morning and make sure you get your beach towel on the chaise at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
That's the kind of place it's going to be. It's going to be phenomenal. And then we can talk about the beach club.
Well, we can almost talk about the beach club. So the design team is going to be working on the beach club and the infrastructure and what's going in there. We're not quite ready to announce the where and the specifics, but obviously one of the things that Mahogany Bay Village doesn't have is shoreline onto the beautiful Caribbean Sea. We're going to have probably the most amazing beach club on the island. We're super excited about it, and while they're here, they're going to be working on that too.
They are, and so the location is spectacular, absolutely beautiful beach, but the whole idea behind the beach club is sort of a primitive Nikki Beach. So it's all about being off the grid. We're looking at solar for it. We're looking at it being very simple and being back to everything you were when you were a kid and you wanted to go play in the beach and just have that raw experience and be outdoors and have fun and interact with the environment and have a few cocktails with it and have a very limited menu but a spectacular menu out there. So,
all right, excellent, good stuff. Well, thanks for your time today.
You're very welcome.
It's almost time for the horn to blow and work to get started.
That's
so
right.
we'll leave it at that. Lots more happening next month. Between now and then, we'll have a lot to share with you. Thanks for watching.